Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is January 29th, 2024, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the markets, pretty much almost across the board, we're consolidating in the markets as we head up to this massive week. There is no major economic event scheduled for today. So starting out with the Forex symbols, major pairs unchanged, and we'll look at the indices. Both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ drifted last week and unchanged. Looking at commodity, gold remained unchanged, but looking at oil, we had a nice trend upwards, but it looks like we're exhausted that move. Now looking at the stocks, Intel, big gap down last week, and Tesla continued to sell off after that gap down. But we're going to take a look at that. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin gains. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. Going to look at the Euro USD just to make a point here. Now, we were trading at 110.70-ish level 4 weeks ago, and we're now trading at 108.44. That means we've done over 200 pips in just 4 weeks. That's 50 pip a week. That's a very difficult place to trade, okay? The reason is that it's very tight and doesn't give you that much volatility to trade it. So keep that in mind. Over the past 4 weeks, I've mentioned stay away from Forex symbols, focus on the U.S. markets. Now, let's take a look at commodities before we get to the U.S. markets. Looking at gold, also trading in a very tight range. We were between 2010-ish level and 2029-ish level. We're right now at 2029. That means if we break out higher, maybe we'll go up to 2037, maybe 10 points, maybe 15 points, but not more. Remember, now this Wednesday is a big day for FOMC and a lot of companies coming out with their earning reports, so we've got a lot more to look forward to. Now, looking at crude oil, this is where it becomes very interesting. We had a nice run up from $72 up to $79, and then we exhausted that move, and now we're retracing to 78.18. So let's take a look at a daily chart where we're at. We passed the 200-day moving average, but, okay, this is the but. The next real resistance level is at $81, so we could continue going higher conceivably. Now, we did make the crossover on the 8-day over the 30-day moving average. That's very important. Now, we look like we're getting to the top of the move, but you don't want to pick bottoms either. So just hang out here. If you're long it, then you might want to look to unload here. But if you're already not in the position, I wouldn't start to short this just yet. There is a minor resistance that we broke above it, and 79.80 is a minor resistance as well. Now jumping into the US markets, nothing doing. 38,2000, we're at the top of the range, and we're unchanged for all intents and purposes. NASDAQ also on the top of the range. Now, FOMC coming out with a big rate statement on Wednesday, so the markets could be just waiting for that. Now, looking at the individual stocks, this is where it gets interesting. Intel, look at that big gap down from $49 down to $43. Now, it's on supportish level. $43 is supportish level. We did have that before. Use that as support, so I anticipate we'll bounce off of it. Now, some of the other tech makers, okay, the chip makers are still really strong. NVIDIA near its all-time highs by 15 points. AMD just capitulating and exhausting that move as well. So there is exhaustive moves here, but just altogether, it's at the end of the top of the move. Now looking at Tesla, big gap down last week after its missed earnings, all that stuff. 183 right now. Also, it's closer to its supportish level. Okay, as we get closer to that 163, it may still break down to that level. Just keep that in mind as we're going into this week. Now, I believe this week is going to lead on to Wednesday, which means the markets will shift and the markets will kind of just bounce around the next couple of days until we have some sort of clarity on Wednesday when the FOMC comes out with their rate statement. Also, we've got major corporations like Google, Amazon, Apple coming out with their earning reports, so that's big news. Now, looking at Bitcoin, coming back to life. Just when you thought it was over, it comes right back to life at 42,164. A decent move on the upside, but really very difficult to trade because it consolidates and then has a big move on the upside. And that is more of a scalper kind of trade. If you're able to do it during that time frame, that's great. It happened at about 5 o'clock the other day on Friday. So keep that in mind that it's a little bit difficult to trade in this type of environment when the market is not going on a consistent basis. It's not a trending market. It's just a price action, very, very stop and go kind of environment. So it's a little bit more difficult to catch. So keep that in mind. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.